5 late round wide receivers that the experts are taking way ahead of ADP. When I say if we want to smash our home leagues, dude, and our home league teammates, this is the way to do it, dude. Let's start drafting like experts. Let's get into this video. Just for some context, guys, the high stakes leagues, I'm using NFC ADP and I'm comparing it to the ADP across Sleeper, ESPN, and Yahoo consensus. So I just take the averages from all of them. Real quick, I just want to preface, guys, these are late round picks, man. If you disagree with these players, it's totally fine. I'm just conveying the information. These are just the guys that the experts are taking, and I kind of agree on some of them, right? So people just were not happy with me in the last video saying that these dudes were useless, so I just want to let that be clear now. We're going to start with Ryan Flournoy, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver 3, being drafted at 167 in NFC, but us casuals are drafting him at 191. He's like wide receiver 71. He's super late. I'm sorry about the super small text reader. My dumbass AI tool just cannot get it right. Actually, it's probably me that's the dumbass, but anyway, let's talk about Ryan Flournoy. Who is he? To be honest, I didn't actually even know before I started doing this research. I remember the name, but, I just couldn't really remember what he did last season, what team he was on. So last season, he had 2 100-yard games when CeeDee Lamb missed some time. So that's kind of interesting, right? When Lamb was gone, this was the dude that kind of stepped in. 31st in yards per route run at 1.82. He was 16th in yards per route run in the last 5 games, right? So 13th ranked in first downs per route run as well. So when he was on the field, he was getting targets, and these high value targets, right? First down targets and first downs is a super important stat for fantasy production. And just to highlight it, guys, in week 14 last season, he had 13 targets, 9 receptions for 115 and a touchdown. So here are my thoughts, man. He's a wide receiver 3. He's on a really good offense, but I don't know if there's enough meat on the bone, or there's 2 studs in front of him, 2 dudes who are drafted in the top 24, right? Pickens and Lamb. So it's like, so we're expecting these 2 dudes to be dominators. We're expecting Ferguson to still get his targets. So like, there's not really much else to go around. Obviously, the upside is crazy. If there's like an injury, if anybody gets injured, and Lamb's been getting banged up the past couple seasons, so there's a chance that this wide receiver 3 on a really high octane offense could be valuable at some point. I think he's a deep league player. He's somebody that you take 15th plus round, right? We don't want to be taking this guy in like for example, in my league, we have 14 rounds. He's just not making it on my team, right? There's just other wide receivers in that same range who are still like wide receiver 2s on their team. But obviously the upside is there, guys. He has performed in the past and he's getting rave reviews right now in camp. This was a touchdown pass that he caught against the Rams in scrimmage, guys. So catches a touchdown. I mean, it wasn't even that impressive. He was just open, but you caught a touchdown against the Rams. It's a pretty decent defense. Take from that what you guys will. Let's move it along now. Tre Harris, guys, absolute college dominator. Let's talk about him. In college, he was 1st in yards per route run, 1st in yards per route run against man coverage, 19th in yards after the catch per reception in his final season. Let's look at a couple things here. I just want to show you guys this chart. This is from 2025 when he was in college, right? So yards per route run versus man and zone. We got zone here on the y-axis, man on the x. Tre Harris absolutely alone on this chart, dude. Going into the season when he was a rookie, I was like, dude, this dude could be a dominator. And then they bring in Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnston turns into an actual player. So it kind of like ruined our little hopes and dreams there. But like just looking at this chart, if you're wondering if it's actually predictive or if it's even useful, I mean, just check out the names in the upper right quadrant, right? We got Tetterell McMillan, we got Luther Burden, Travis Hunter, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins. So we see most of the players that have been relevant are in this quadrant, right? So it must be a pretty useful graph or a useful chart to see who's going to be productive. It's nice that we can look back on these things and kind of see if this chart actually led to any type of success, right? And it seems like it did. Unfortunately, Tez Johnson and Tre Harris, maybe they're too good. Maybe that's the reason that they haven't been productive as a pro. We're going to look at some highlights, guys. This is probably one of the nicest catches. Tracks the ball, kind of catches it behind him. Dude, check this shit out one more time. Defender draped all over him, dude. Reaches back with one hand and snags it from Justin Herbert. So the dude is an absolute playmaker, dude. This is the depth comment here by Jim Harbaugh. It says Tre Harris is right there with Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston as one of the team's top 3 wide receivers. Second-year receivers hoping for a breakout, dude. So he had a quiet rookie season, but they consider him to be one of their top 3 wide receivers. So he locks down that wide receiver 3 spot. And listen, man, I like Quentin Johnston. He's actually on this list later on, but Quentin Johnston has to be taking PEDs, dude. He has to be taking roids or something, dude, because he suddenly is catching everything, right? His supplier could get arrested and he could lose out on his PEDs, or he could lose his raid buffs or whatever paladin aura he has that's making him catch everything finally, but he could turn back into Stonehands Johnston. Tre Harris then steps in, takes over the wide receiver 2 role. He's the big play guy. He's the red zone and end zone guy. There is a path, right? There's a non-zero chance that he could be the dude. So honestly, when it comes to taking shots on like late round wide receivers, he's one of my favorite guys. Steve Smith thinks so as well. He said he was underutilized last season. He believes LA spent too much time asking him to block instead of letting him become a weapon. He could have a bigger role. I already know what you guys are going to say. He's a wide receiver 3. He's not going to get enough playing time. It's going to be Ladd. It's going to be Quentin Johnston. It's going to be even Gadsden and Njoku. Those are all fair points. I probably tend to agree when it comes to, this season, if everything goes right and nobody gets injured, but there's always the potential, man, for an injury, dude. I mean, he could get injured as well, right? And the experts agree, dude. They're drafting him at 153. He's being drafted at 172. That's like a 20 pick difference between the experts and us Joe Blows. Next up, we got 2 Treys, man. Tre Tucker. Is he going to be the lead wide receiver for the Raiders, or the second guy, or just the part-time guy? I don't really know, but he is their best wide receiver against zone, which most of the NFL plays zone right now. It's like 60% of the time teams are playing zone on average. Some teams play a lot more. And he showed some flashes last season. He was very boom bust, guys. Let's take a look at the game log. In week 3, he had 40 fantasy points, guys. 40 fantasy points. This was just a funny tweet from Ian Hartitz that the wide receivers to score 40 plus fantasy points per PPR points in a game last season: Puka, St. Brown, and Tre Tucker. You got to admit the man is in pretty good company there. Clint Kubiak, new head coach, dude. Really good offensive mind, says Tre Tucker when he was asked what surprised him about his new team. One guy that sticks out is watching Tre Tucker play football, dude. In a room of players where Brock Bowers is breathing air in that same room, you choose to single out Tre Tucker. Now, this is back in March. Maybe he's been a bust stop Magoo since then, but it could just be gas. But, when he singles out a player like Tre Tucker, I don't know. He has the potential to make big plays and have big games, or we saw it last season. Like, he can get open. He's a pretty decent wide receiver in general. And this is August 8th, so this is more recent. Mendoza looked solid with the first team offense Saturday. He had a few off-target throws. He threw a pair of touchdowns to Tre Tucker and Brock Bowers during the red zone period. So the man is getting red zone work, dude. I don't know how often that's going to happen because he is kind of a smaller wide receiver. He's a smaller wide receiver, right? I feel like he's less than 6 feet. I don't know. Maybe I'm fully wrong. I mean, to be fair, I don't really watch Raiders games. I don't even think Raiders fans watch Raiders games. And then here's the usage, guys, going back to last season. He finished top 10 among wide receivers in snaps and routes last season. So just straight up, the man is out there running routes. It's not just cardio routes. He's getting some targets, and he was, slightly productive. I mean, they had a super bad QB situation, but he's on the field. He's pretty decent when he's on the field. They're hopefully going to have a quarterback upgrade, a new system, new head coach. I think there's a path here, guys. I really do think there's a path for Tre Tucker to be legitimately useful, guys. And the experts tend to agree. 144 on NFC ADP, 161 in our normal PPR rankings, and 186 on normal consensus ADP. So I think you can do a lot worse when it comes to late round targets. And then the man we already talked about, Quentin Johnston, 68 on NFC ADP. Kind of insane, guys. 107 in our consensus ADP. So a solid, 40 picks earlier in the 6th round is kind of crazy to me. Here's the situation with Quentin Johnston, guys. Early in his career, couldn't catch a cold. 2 left hands, Stone Hands Johnston. So many nicknames for this man, dude. But since then, he has gotten so much better at catching things, dude. He doesn't make bonehead plays anymore. New offensive coordinator, right? We got Mike McDaniel coming in. He is the yards after catch kind of whisperer, right? So Keenan Allen is now gone. That's a shit ton of targets now that are going to siphon over to, Gadsden and Njoku, probably Ladd, but also Quentin Johnston, dude. This is a guy that only had, I think, 70 targets last season. Let's just quickly look at it. 84 targets. 8 touchdowns, though, on only 51 receptions. That's not bad, dude, for a, big play guy. He needs to get in the end zone, right? He needs to get in the end zone and make big plays for him to be fantasy relevant. But if there are now more targets to go around, I think we can be a little bit excited, dude. Elite quarterback and Herbert, we already know. Elite offensive line, they're healthy now. And the run game should be really good. They have like 3 really competent running backs now. And if this dude already showed us that he can score touchdowns, I think this projection here of 6 touchdowns, I think he can easily break that. I think this is going to be a really good offense, dude. As long as people stay healthy, it's going to be a really good offense with a lot of touchdowns to go around. And Ladd McConkey is not a huge red zone weapon, right? He can definitely score touchdowns in the red zone. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like the fade routes aren't going to Ladd McConkey. So honestly, he improved his drops. This is just a stat comparing Ladd and Quentin. Ladd, obviously wide receiver, I think like 14 right now. Quentin at wide receiver 43 or 47. He leads Ladd in first read target share, red zone target share, air yard share, yards per out run, a really good predictive stat. And then the QBR when targeting Quentin Johnston was 111 compared to 83 for Ladd. So statistically, Quentin Johnston seems like kind of the better pick. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I would take Quentin before Ladd. That's just a nice little one-hand snag. I mean, come on, dude. Stonehands Johnson making one-hand snags. I mean, we are here now. But the thing that gives me a little bit of concern here, I saw this tweet, I think today it was from August 9th. First round wide receiver Quentin Johnston, who has a career catch rate of 59%, reportedly still struggling during camp so far. So that's not ideal. I don't know how credible this is. It seems like this dude's a beat reporter. So I don't know. That's a little bit concerning. I mean, we see him making more grabs, especially in games. So let's just hope that that's just like a temporary thing. Now we talk about some fresh faces, guys. We got Denzel Boston going at 135 on NFC ADP, 172 in normal ADP. So another solid 40 picks difference, guys. So he is the wide receiver, rookie wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. This is his profile, guys. 6'4". He has size, physicality, contested catch ability, and this team desperately needs that, right? They got like Judy, they got Concepcion, a pretty small wide receiver. They got Cedric Tillman, who's probably going to be the odd man out here, but he kind of fits this profile as well. So he's going to be competing essentially with, in my opinion, Casey Concepcion and Harold Fannin. Those are going to be the two guys that are really preventing him from getting a lot of targets, right? Or a lot of like playing time in general. I think Judy's going to slowly get pushed out as the season progresses, but this dude's going to be boomer bust. Don't get me wrong. His profile is that of a boomer bust wide receiver. You know, he's not going to clear 100 targets, maybe for the next couple seasons on a team like the Browns. But his college profile, guys, he was not necessarily a dominator, but again, he showed the fact that he can score touchdowns, dude. In 13 games as a junior, 63 receptions. There's that low reception count, but 830 yards and 9 touchdowns. Then as a senior, 62 receptions, 881 yards again, pretty much, and 11 touchdowns. So the dude is a touchdown machine. In his senior year, he was essentially scoring 1 touchdown per game. So a couple house from training camp, absolute deep bomb, dude. Taps the toes for a 6'4" wide receiver, having the wherewithal to tap the toes. Nice little fake inside to an outside route. Dude, he's a pretty good route runner for a guy his size, man. Check this one out too. Nice little out route, or what is that, like a curl? 12-yard curl probably. I was just informed recently that you can't do a 3-yard curl. I had no idea. When I used to run fucking scrimmages with the homies, I'd be running 3-yard curls left and right, bro. I don't know what I've been missing. This is a touchdown pass from a sloppy QB play. Again, just a basic slant there, a little touchdown. We love that. This is, I believe, an out route. Shows a little bit of jitteriness. Yeah, just a nice little out. Oh, okay, wait. Follows the QB. Play breaks down, follows the QB. Nice, dude. We love to see it from a rookie. This is Max Loeb, best player at Browns practice today. Denzel Boston, 3 touchdowns, guys, on August 5th. Zane Donani here, one of the better Twitter followers. I highly recommend following him. He says that Denzel Boston has been crushing training camp, which is a continuation of what he did at OTAs. Cleveland would have taken him if Concepcion wasn't available. So they love this dude as a first rounder. And they ended up getting him at a value pick, right? They got him in the 2nd round. So they love this dude as a talent. I do think he's going to be a starter alongside Concepcion eventually, maybe not right out of the gate. They're probably going to give the respect, tip the cap to Jerry Jeudy as like the veteran on the team, but I think Denzel Boston can easily take that job from him. That's the video, boys. Thank you for watching. Those are the 5 wide receivers that the experts are taking way ahead of us. These are guys I think we should look at, especially in deep leagues. You guys can go grab the top 60 cheat sheet absolutely for free, guys. It's got draft builds, positional hit rates. That's a really good one. Targets and fades in the top 60. It's fully for free on the page. Next week, we're going to be talking about the players that the experts are fading. So these are the players that we are taking ahead of the experts. So I think those are super important videos to watch, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.